We're back again to play some games, and we're about Cupid Parasite, and let's just jump back in. So last time, we're getting married to Shelby. We're getting married to Shelby. It's a fake marriage, but like, you know, that's my husband for real. And we're moving out. I think we're gonna move in with him, you know, to keep the image, make it believable. Anyway, I can't really go into details, but at least for a while I won't be staying here again. Like, we just got back from a Parasite house. I went straight home after work. Obviously, I didn't tell her everything, but I let Clarice know that I wouldn't be home for a while. For now, I'd be living at Mr. Snell's second home. In other words, the same place where we shot Parasite House. Together, right? The president himself had his own place where he usually stayed, but apparently it wasn't appropriate to have a roommate there. Besides, he bought a second home as a place to entertain guests, so it was the perfect place for him and his wife, me, to meet clients. My chair is all messed up. I'm sitting in a weird angle, which is why Parasite House was chosen as the ideal location to stage Operation Pretend Marriage. We could have had a better name for our operation. We could have a better name. Pretend Marriage?
詳細は言えないね。ま、あなたが決めたならいいんじゃない?
Clarice, you know I'm always up to something. So you can't go into detail, huh? Well, if it's what you want, then I guess it's fine by me. It is. I'm not sure how long I'll be gone. Maybe a month or two? But I promise, I'll be back eventually. Oh, and of course, I'll keep paying my share of the rent, so don't worry about that.
あ、それは助かるわ。私もちょっと自分の部屋に男を連れ込むかもしれないけど、いい?
Have at it. Just don't do it in my room. Well, that's good, at least. I assume you won't mind if I bring guys home once in a while then. I mean, you do that even when I'm here, so just stay out my room. Stay out my room. I started packing up my travel bag. The house had all the normal daily necessities, so I just grabbed clothes and makeup. There's not enough room for me to bring everything I want, but I can just come back and grab more later.
Chi?
How you doing, Chi? Chi hopped over to me with a confused look on his face. After a second, he realized I must be headed somewhere. He hopped into the middle of my clothes. Apparently, he was coming with me. Since Clarice was still standing there, I couldn't say anything to him, so instead, I just closed up the bag.
Chi?
I had my clothes and Chi, everything I need to get started. Okay, I'm off.
今から?
Wait, you're leaving right now? I gotta hop to it. My husband's waiting. Yep, I've got a car coming to pick me up. After our meeting, we worked out the details. A moving company would have raised suspicion, so Mr. Snell would pick me up. Oh! Just so I had mentioned my ride to Clarice, I heard a car pull up in front of the apartment. Girl, how you hear that? That must be him. Okay, Clarice. See you later. I gave her a quick wave and headed out the door with the bag in hand. I hope the next time I saw the apartment I'd grown to love so much, all the trouble would have passed.
あの子が誰かの迎えで外泊ね。もしかして彼氏できたのかしら?
So someone came to pick her up and she's not going to be home for who knows how long? Did she land herself a boyfriend?
だとしたら応援しなくっちゃ。忙しくなるわ。
If so, I'll have to do everything I can to support her. Things are finally starting to get interesting. Around 8 o'clock at night. Mr. Snell had just finished helping me bring in my luggage. Whew, that should do it. Thanks a bunch.
ああ、それでは こちらが契約書だ。
Of course. And here's the finalized contract. The paperwork was labeled Spouse Proxy Service Purchase Order and included a non-disclosure agreement along with it. I gotta sign the NDA. It had clearly defined work hours along with a list of expected duties and a stipulation that extra tasks would earn extra pay. And the president sure is thorough when it comes to stuff like this. It finally started to sink in that, along with all my normal work, I'd actually be pretending to be his wife. I flipped through the contract. When I got to the detailed compensation section, my eyes nearly popped out of my head. How much? Are these numbers right? How much? You're sure I should be earning that much?
当然の対価だ。もちろん、
Ooh,
私的な利用だからな。私のポケットマネーから出すから安心しろ。
Oh, he rich. I say it's a fair rate. This is a private matter, so it's coming out of my own personal funds. In other words, the company wouldn't be paying for it directly. He really does take everything so seriously. Then I'll make sure to work hard and earn my keep. I grabbed the pen, signed the papers, and handed them back to Mr. Snail.
ああ、これからよろしく頼む。では、私は一旦会社に戻る。すまないが、自由に過ごしていてくれ。
I appreciate that. For now, I need to head back to the office. You're free to spend your evening however you wish. Then I'm coming with you. Or stay here. Huh? But it's already 8 o'clock.
ああ、日付が変わるまでまだ4時間ある。
Oh, you work too much. That's true, which means there are still 4 hours left until the day is officially over. Mr. Snail really is a true workaholic. To him, 8 o'clock meant there's still plenty of time left in the day.
一応1時には帰るつもりだが、詳細な時間は読めないので先に寝ていてくれ。
I'll probably be back before 1. I'm not sure exactly when though, so there's no need to wait up for me.
それと、会食は3日後になった。会場はここだから、それまでに配置などについてよく確認しておいてくれ。
Dinner with the client is in 3 days, and we'll host them here. Please make all the necessary arrangements by then.
パラサイトハウスの際に使用していたので、大まかな勝手は分かっていると思うが。
Considering how much time you spent here during Parasite House, I assume you know your way around the place. So you already want to use the house for a dinner party?
なあ、妻を連れて行くと話したら逆に驚かれてな。病弱で人見知りの奥さん、外に出られるんですかなんて言われて。
Indeed. I mentioned bringing my wife, but they were surprised that my shy and sickly wife would want to leave the house.
私が今まで嘘をつきすぎたせいなんだが、確かに外での会食だと、たとえ個室にしたとしても、どこかでお前を隠し撮りされる可能性があるからな。
And if we did go out, or even got a private room, we would be risking the possibility that some reporter might snap another photo.
この間のように後ろ姿ならばいいが、万が一正面を撮られたら終わりだ。
If it were just the back of your head like before, that would be fine. But if they got a shot from the front, it'd be all over.
だから秘密を守るならば、ここの方が好都合だろうと思い、招くことにしたんだ。
So I realized it would be much easier to keep our secret if we had dinner here and extend an invitation. Yeah.
料理も信頼できる料理人を1日だけ雇うつもりだ。しかし、もし帰って家だとお前に負担をかけるというなら別案を考えるが。
I know a chef I can trust to cook for us. Of course, if hosting the party is too much of a strain, I'll come up with another plan. I got it. Oh no, not at all. You can leave all that to me. I've always wanted to host a dinner party. Well, actually, had a lot of parties at our own place during college, but usually Gil or Clarice took care of everything. So this would be my first time playing host. And it has such a nice house too. I started getting excited just thinking about it.
そうか。よかった。
I see. Well, that's good then. Mr. Snail breathed a sigh of relief and it seemed to relax a bit. As the president, he could have just ordered me to do it, but he's always so considerate, so he must have felt really guilty.
ありがとう。すまないな。こんなことをお前に頼んで。
No problem, Shelby. I got you. Thank you. And I'm very sorry for making you do this. Don't be sorry. The fate of the entire company is resting on this project after all.
プロジェクトか。確かにそうだな。
I suppose it is a project, isn't it? That's an excellent way of putting it. The president allowed himself to smile just a bit, but quickly turned serious again.
よければ、その会食の日までにこの家に馴染んでいてくれ。
If it's not too much trouble, feel free to refamiliarize yourself with the house before the party.
内装も妻の好みでという話になるだろうからな。カーテンやカーペットなど変えたいものがあったら言ってくれ。
They'll likely assume you picked out the decor and comment on it accordingly. If you want to change anything, just let me know. I want to change
お
everything.
前好みに合わせて業者を手配させよう。
Do you think they'll recognize it from the TV show? I can arrange to bring in contractors to decorate however you like. Anyway, I should get going. Okay, take care.
ああ。
Right. He walked out the door. I heard him start up his car and drive off. Bye. Standing there alone, I checked the time again. Oops. Ah, it's already 8 o'clock. I guess I already knew that. I thought maybe we'd have a chance to make dinner and eat together, but he left before I could even suggest it. I was sure he'd be having a jelly drink or protein bar for dinner as usual. Maybe I should try making something tomorrow, so we can at least have a proper breakfast. I only had 3 days to figure out how to act like I'd been with him for the past 4 years. And to do that, I have to spend more time with him. Exactly. We need to get him to stay home and chill with us. That's my goal. I want him to stay home and chill. But wait, 4 years ago, I was technically still a teenager. Uh-oh. Going by normal human time, I've only been at the company for 2 years. Although obviously I was much, much older. Oh well, it's not like I have to tell them my actual human age. I'll just pretend to be a little bit older. But Mr. Snail really is thoughtful. He's fine with changing the entire decor to fit his wife's tastes. It's clear that when he does something, he goes the whole 9 yards. But I actually like the decor, so I'll just leave it as it is. Too colorful for me. I need some browns in here, some browns. But maybe I should place some flowers, or at least add a few things of my own to make it look like people actually live here. If we're gonna pretend to be married in order to protect Mr. Snail's secret, I want to do everything I can to make it work. The kitchen looks too clean for one thing. I decided to make dinner in order to make it look like it actually gets some use. Are you good? Are you still in that bag? Oh, whoops. I totally forgot about Chi. Chi's cries from my bag reminded me that I brought him with me. My bad, bro. And that's how my married life with Mr. Snail began. He was almost never home. A lot of the time, he wasn't even in Lost York. He was busy flying around to meetings all over the place. And when he wasn't traveling, he stayed at the office till past midnight, then left the house before I got up in the morning. As the day of the dinner party approached, we only ever really communicated via email and messages. I don't like that. Come home. Hello there, Snail. Thank you for inviting us over today.
本日はご足労いただきありがとうございます。
I'm thrilled you can make it. I was there welcoming our guest on my own. She was on standby in the bedroom before making her entrance, to match her reputation as being shy and sickly.
まったくよく思いつくものだ。私一人ではこうはいかない。
This was totally her idea. It never would have even occurred to me. The truth is, she planned the entire evening single-handedly, because I'm good like that, which meant I could relax and focus on our guest. But this would be the first time a client would meet my wife, so I was still nervous regardless. I got this, I'm gonna pull it off. Watch this.
こんばんは、お邪魔します。ところで、噂の奥様は？
Yes, good evening. We're very excited, you know? So where's that significant other of yours?
今連れてまいります。人見知りですので気遅れしているようでして。
She'll be along soon enough. As you know, she is quite shy, so it takes her some time to work up the nerve to come out.
あらまあ、聞いていた通り、可愛らしい奥様ね。
My word. So she really is just like you described her. It's really quite adorable, if I'm being honest.
ですが私が普段からお二人の話をしてい
No,
た
I
も
was
ので
thinking.
今日はお二人にお会いできるのをとても楽しみにしていまして。
You done? I was thinking. Remember when she said, of course you remember, it was only a little while ago. She was saying how her age, she'll have to lie about her age, or else she'll seem that she's too young. Do you think that's going to come back and bite us? Do you think that's going to come back and bite us? Hold on. Because what if somebody doesn't believe her? And then they go digging around and find out, like, this girl does not exist. Like, what's going on? And things won't add up because, you know, she's not human. Like, she don't have a birth certificate. Does she? Like, did she fake one? I don't know. Something tells me that's going to come back and bite us, the whole age thing. I've told her all about you, so she's very much looking forward to meeting you. Please be patient with her. Something in my eye. I led the guests to their seats, then headed for the bathroom. I mean, the bedroom. I quietly knocked on the bedroom door. As soon as I entered, I froze and found myself at a complete loss for words. All I had to do was let her know we were ready, and yet... Oh, is everyone all set? As she turned to look at me, I caught a whiff of some kind of elegant perfume. She looked completely different from normal. She had somehow perfectly captured the essence of a president's wife. I'm supposed to be the wife of a successful president, right? So I went with a more ladylike outfit. What do you think?
悪くない。いや、よく似合っている。
You can't even talk. Well, yes. Not bad. I mean, I suppose. It looks fine. Great. Oh, it just occurred to me. But I should be wearing a wedding ring. I totally forgotten about that. I did have one I wore when I went to media interviews, things like that, but...
さすがにまずいだろう。未婚の女性に人を騙すために結婚指輪をさせるなんて。
It seems wrong somehow to ask an unmarried woman to wear a wedding ring, especially to deceive others. It was a little too late to be worrying about the ethics of the situation, but I felt like some things just shouldn't be done.
いや、それはいい。サイズが合わなくなって直してもらっているとか言えばいいはずだ。
No, I don't think that's necessary. If they ask, just say you're having it resized. Oh, all right. Well, we shouldn't keep our guests waiting. Shall we go? She was wearing a light red lipstick, and her smile was more reserved than normal. She slipped her arm around mine. She was so soft and warm. She was the image of pure femininity.
まずい。
This is bad. A little too real for you? It had been years since I had been with a woman like this. I'd completely forgotten how it felt. All these years, I'd done nothing but focus on my work. And because of that, I hadn't made personal connections with any woman. I hardly remember what the sensation was like. Golly. If I'd known it would be like this, I would have put some effort into preparing for it. But it was too late for that. Golly. I cleared my throat in an attempt to rid myself of embarrassing emotion, then stared forward at the door. It's showtime. Hey, let me see this. Oh yeah, that music is copywritten. Thank you both so much for waiting. Mr. Snell and I walked into the living room together. When our guests saw me, they gasped out loud. Ah, so this is the rumored wife you heard so much about.
あらまあ、なんて可憐なんでしょう。そちらがいつもお話しされていた奥様ね。お会いできて光栄ですわ。
My heavens, you are absolutely gorgeous. We've heard so much about you. It's an honor to finally meet you. I'm very pleased to meet you too. I'm Lauren. Lauren Snail. That's a crazy name. Thank you so much for visiting with us today.
いやはや、ようやくお会いできましたな。どうもよろしく。
It's our pleasure, I assure you. I'm so happy to meet you. I could feel his passion in his firm handshake. For my part, I shot Mr. Snail a feeble glance. I was supposed to be the timid, frail Mrs. Snail. I had to appear as if I relied on my husband for everything. I have to make sure not to forget that once we sat down to eat too. I could easily get careless and start talking the way I normally would. I commit myself to make sure that didn't happen. I apologize for missing out on meeting you so many times due to my unfortunate condition. But I really am glad to finally meet you. Please, make yourself at home. I give them my best elegant but delicate smile, and they just smiled back at me in return. Things seem to be off to a good start. If I could keep up this act as the president's wife, everything might turn out okay. But the truth is, I'm feeling kind of anxious, for a totally different reason. What? I was more worried about saying something to upset or offend them than I was about having our lie exposed. Our guest today was the president of a famous jewelry brand. As a bridal advisor, I was perfectly aware of just how popular the products were among our members. I didn't want to say anything rude and hurt our relationship. I saw why Mr. Snell was so reluctant to bring in someone else. No wonder he has had so much trouble finding a compatible partner. A president's wife has to support him in any given social setting. It sounds old-fashioned, but it's still pretty important. His real wife, me, would constantly be going back and forth with lots of different businesses. The pressure must be crazy. I'm sure his wife feels the same way. I should learn as much from her as I can. I looked over at Mr. Snail and smiled. I could tell how nervous he was in that moment. But the setting itself was surprisingly relaxed, and dinner was served. Mr. Snell had arranged for a trusted personal chef to prepare the meal. As we ate, we made friendly small talk. The full-course meal was really impressive, with lots of items I never had before. I made sure not to get too aggressive with it. I would have tore that food up. I don't know if I could pull it off, y'all. I would have went crazy. I made sure not to get too aggressive with it. After all, I was supposed to be weak and reserved. If I had suddenly started eating like a professional, I'd lose all credibility. So I made sure to only take small portions as I ate. Honestly, it made me a little sad. I'm not even close to full. Hope there are some leftovers. That's all I could think about as I did my best to eat with grace. I also couldn't help but compare the two presidents.
それでお二人の馴れ初めをお伺いさせてもらってもいい
I
で
knew
す
this
か
question was coming. So, I've been dying to ask, how did the two of you meet?
あらあら、私も気になるわ。お二人はどんな風に知り合ったんですの？
Oh yes, I've been wondering about that myself. I'm sure there must be a lovely story there. Shelby, we got a story? We are both clearly eager. I looked at Mr. Snail. It was time to move on to the next phase of our plan. He nodded at me slightly, as if to reassure me, then took the lead in the conversation.
子供の頃近所だったんです。
Oh, we're taking it that far back? Actually, we lived in the same neighborhood when we were children. This was the story we come up with earlier. If we say we met as students, they could look into his former classmates, and the lie would easily be exposed. But as long as we kept it vague, a neighborhood friend would mean anything, even the next suburb over, for example.
ほうほうご近所のスネイル君はどこ出身でしたかな
I see. The same neighborhood. So where are you from anyway, Snail?
ワラントンです。
Wishington.
あら、本当？私もワラントン出身なのよ。夏になると気持ちのいいところよね。
Is that so? It just so happens that I'm from Washington myself. The summers there are to die for.
ええ、妻ともよく自然公園に遊びに行ったものです。
I completely agree. The missus and I spent quite a few warm nights in the local parks.
あら、素敵ね。じゃあ、もうお付き合いは長いのね。
Wonderful. So the two of you have been together for quite a long time then. Yes, but I was sick a lot, so I wasn't able to go outside as much as I would have liked. Shelby was always there to keep me company. As children, I was constantly asking him for favors. I'm sure I was the source of quite a number of headaches for him. I smiled softly to give off the air of a wife that's always relied on her husband, and leaned on Mr. Snail's arm. The president twitched a bit at my touch, but he managed to appear calm as he nodded.
ええ、本当にこいつには手ばかりかかって。だがそこが可愛いと言いますか。
Yes, that's true. She certainly was a handful back then. But then, that's what I loved about her.
なるほどな。シェルビー君が外に奥さんを連れてこないのにはそういうわけがあったんですね。
So that explains why you never brought her with you anywhere. I understand completely.
いや何ずっと気になっていたんですよ。愛妻家でのろけ話はよく聞くんですが誰も見たことがないのはどういうわけだろうとね。
I don't know, Shelby. This guy seems like an op. Anyway, I was just curious about her. I'd always heard how devoted you were. But apparently, nobody had ever seen her.
そうなんです。私もついこの妻の愛らしさを独り占めしたくて。
Well, yes, I just love her so much. I want to keep her all to myself. He was clearly trying to brag, but there was a clear hesitation in his voice. It was obvious how embarrassing this all was for him. But for them, I was sure it just made things all the more convincing. The two of them were smiling openly at us.
よくよく理解しました。大切なお姫様というわけですな。
I would have done the exact same thing. She's your precious princess. If you'll pardon me for being a little forward.
そんなお姫様を私たちに会わせてくださりありがとうございます。とても嬉しいわ。
That's right. And we're so pleased that you let us meet your darling princess.
いえ、こちらこそなかなか連れ出せずに申し訳ありません。
I'm just sorry it took so long for me to finally let you meet her. And I'm sorry it took me so long to work up the courage to show myself. Since I spend so much time inside, I'm afraid I'm a bit lacking in social graces. I was worried about coming off as rude. I smiled and gently placed my hand on Mr. Snail's. I'm just so glad the first people I've ever properly met after all this time were so kind. Thank you so much for today.
初めてなんですか。
Oh,
お
do we...
姫様のお披露目に我々を選んでいただけたとは。それ
Is it
は
over?
光栄ですな。
Oh, has it really been that long? Well then, it's an honor to be present at the debut of your princess.
これからも末長いお付き合いをどうぞよろしくお願いしますね。
Yes, I hope that our relationship will only continue to grow from here.
ええ、こちらこそ。
The pleasure has been all ours, of course. Yes, I certainly wish for the same thing. The time felt right, so I softly cleared my throat. This was the signal that Mr. Snail and I had agreed on earlier.
おい、大丈夫か？
Lauren, are you feeling alright?
おや、大丈夫ですか。
Oh, is something the matter? I'm sorry, it's just my cough tends to flare up around this time of night. It's really nothing, but... I pretend to struggle to smile, then weakly placed a handkerchief over my mouth. This was our plan to discourage them from asking to see me again, or introduce me to other acquaintances of theirs. We needed to reinforce the reason why Mr. Snail's elusive wife had never appeared in public for the last 4 years. We wanted something that felt realistic without coming off as rude, and this was the plan we come up with. I really did feel guilty for lying to them, but it was necessary to keep the larger lie from entering the public sphere. I felt like we were putting on a play, The Wife and Mr. Snail or something like that. At that moment, dessert was being brought in from the kitchen. There was quite a selection to choose from. Tiramisu, sherbet, and mousse were all placed in front of the others. But of course, the sickly wife had only enough appetite for a bit of sherbet. Did we do it? We made it? The dinner party had gone off without a hitch, and we escorted the couple out of the house with a smile. Once we were alone, I changed back into my normal clothes and sank into the sofa in my room. I'm completely wiped out. You know what? I think that's a good place to end it. We pulled it off. And Shelby, he's like, wow, I haven't been with a woman in forever. Golly. But our plan worked somehow. But I think that age thing is gonna come back. Cause what if somebody goes to investigate me? What if somebody finds out about me and then goes to investigate me, and then my age and my birth and my documents are not adding up? Cause I'm Cupid, I'm not human. I'm worried. It'll come back and bite us. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my social medias or below. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.